Okay, so by the end of this tutorial series, you should have a Pong game that works something like this. So you have two paddles, you can move the one on the left and the one on the right is controlled by the computer. And there's a score system and you can play and pause the game. So yeah, let's get started building it. Okay, so to start with, you need to create a folder for the game. I'll call it Pong, and then open up the folder and create a main.py file. You know, the classic. And we'll also need an assets folder because that's what all the big programmer dudes do. No, but actually we need to store our game resources like images, sounds, or like the font files. So now open up the Pong folder in your text editor. I'm using Sublime. Anyway, then we're gonna open up main.py and then we can start coding. For those of us who have been lucky enough not to use Pygame before, I've linked a tutorial in the description on how to download it. Anyway, if you've done that, now we'll start by importing and initializing Pygame. Now our first order of business is to create a window, and so we'll do that by defining a win variable and set that to pygame.display.setMode. And inside these brackets, we have to give a tuple with the width and height of our window. Now for the uncultured amongst you, you might try to simply enter a width and a height here. No, my friend, you have to make a constant for the window width and height and then use them over here. And we will also be using these width and height constants for making the x and y coordinates of our paddles. Okay, now let's run our code, and you can see it actually creates a window that lasts for a couple seconds. We can deal with that later, but did you see that the title of the window said Pygame window or something? Let's change that to Pong. We do that with pygame.display.setCaption, and we enter a string in these brackets. I'll type Pong. Okay, that works. But let's also change the icon of the window, because right now it's just the Pygame logo. So similarly to the caption, we will do that with pygame.display.setIcon. And inside these brackets, we'll have to give Pygame an image to make the window icon. So we'll have to load an image into Pygame by doing pygame.image.load, and inside these brackets we'll type the path of the image. So my icon is found in the assets folder and it's called gameicon.png, and we will store this image in a variable called gameicon, which we will put inside these brackets of pygame.display.setIcon. Now if we run our code, you'll see that we have a custom caption and game icon. Cool, but our window just closes after a few seconds. Let's address that. So we need to create our main game loop that will keep our window alive for more than a few seconds. We'll do this inside our main function, and we will create a boolean variable called run, and our main game while loop will run while this run variable is true. Okay, and I'll just type pass in this while loop, otherwise Python will kill me with errors. And now if we run our code, we have a window that lasts for more than a few seconds. But if I try to close it or even try to move the window, it will stop responding. In fact, we need to go to the task manager to actually get it to close. So obviously we need to fix this. We do this by making a for loop inside of our while loop. And this for loop will loop through a list of events that happen in our game. And this list is made with the pygame.event.get function. So now let's check if one of the events in our game happens to be pygame.quit, which is the name Pygame gives to the event of the user pressing the exit button on the window. So if this happens, we're going to break out of this while loop, and after we call our main function, we're going to call pygame.quit, which will deinitialize Pygame after our window is closed. Okay, now if we run our program, we see it kind of works. Like we have a window, albeit completely blank and empty, but we can move it around and it doesn't crash when we close it. It's a start. I want to add two more things to our program in this video real quick. Firstly, we have color constants. In our game, we will be using black and white. So we want to have predefined RGB values for those colors stored in a constant so we can easily use them. So simply at the start of our program, I want to define black as the tuple 0, 0, 0, and white as the tuple 255, 255, 255. Alright, now last thing, you know how games have a frame rate? Well, let's implement that into our game. So first we'll make a constant FPS and let's set it to 60. Alright, and we will define a game clock as pygame.time.clock. And we will have this clock tick at the start of every cycle in our while loop. And so inside these brackets of clock.tick, we're going to put the FPS constant that we defined earlier. And this is what our game looks like so far. Pretty basic to say the least, but it's something. At least I think it is. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like the video if you did. Comment any future video suggestions or any questions you may have. Remember, the code is in the description, and I'll see you in the next one.